students. I am Manoj Kundare, working as the Assistant Professor of Electronic Science. Welcome back to our e-learning platform. In previous video, we were discussed about the features of 8051 microcontroller and its block diagram, architecture, etc. The link of the previous video is available in the description box. Please check it. Now we are going to study the pin diagram of 8051 microcontroller. If we look at the diagram, then we can see that the 8051 microcontroller have total 40 pins. Pin number 1, pin number 2 to up to pin number 20, pin number 21, pin number 22 to up to pin number 40. Next, the pin diagram of 8051 microcontroller is available in 40 pin DIP package. Here the word DIP stands for dual inline package. In 8051 microcontroller, out of these 40 pins, 32 pins are set aside for the 4 ports, port P0, P1, P2 and P3, where each port has 8 pins. The rest of the pins are designated as VCC, ground, XTAL1, XTAL2, RST, EA, ALE and PSEN. These pins must be connected in order to work the system properly. Some pins are used for more than one function, hence these pins are also called as the multifunctional pins. In 8051 microcontroller, there are many multifunctional pins. Now let's see the description of each pin one by one. The first pin is VCC, pin number 40. The pin number 40 is VCC pin. It provides a supply voltage to the microcontroller chip. The voltage source is plus 5 volt DC. The next pin is ground pin. The pin number 20 is a ground pin. Next, XTAL1 pin and XTAL2 pin. The XTAL pin is 19 number and XTAL2 pin is of 18 number. These two pins are used to generate a clock signal. The question arises here, what is meant by clock signal? Generally, the clock signal is called as the heart of the microcontroller. It is a square wave having 50% duty cycle. This is a square wave. This is called as a pulse. This is first pulse. This is second pulse. This is the third pulse. The microcontroller works on these clock pulses. At each clock pulses, the microcontroller responds to the given instruction. In other words, we can say that the microcontroller works on the clock pulses. If the clock is not provided to the microcontroller, then the microcontroller cannot able to work. Next, the 8051 has an on-chip oscillator, but it requires external quartz crystal to be connected to the inputs XTAL1 and XTAL2 along with the capacitors. Here is the arrangement made for the same. Here we can clearly see that the quartz crystal is placed between XTAL1 and XTAL2 input with the capacitors. The value of each capacitor is of 30 picofarad. This total circuitry is used to generate a clock pulse. Next, when the internal clock generator facility is not required, the user can connect external clock to XTAL1 pin with XTAL2 pin left unconnected. We can observe the clock frequency on XTAL2 pin using the oscilloscope. That means if any user don't want to use this circuitry, then he can easily connect an external clock source to the XTAL1 pin. The external clock pulse means a square wave from the signal generator, and he can observe this square wave or this clock on XTAL2 pin by using oscilloscope. Our next pin is reset or RST pin. The pin number 9 is called as the reset pin. Normally it is connected to low, ground or logic 0. Upon applying a high VCC or logic 1 pulse to this pin, the controller will reset and terminates all the activities. I hope you all know what is meant by logic 1 and logic 0, or the logic high or logic low. It is very simple. In digital logic, only zeros and ones are used. That means we can show these zeros and ones on a square wave. Here at the lower level we can write it is a 0 level and this is a 1 level. Okay, this 0 level is also called as the logic 0 and 1 is also called as the logic 1. This 0 is also called as a ground. This 0 is also called as a ground, and 1 is also called as VCC plus VCC. This 0 is also called as ground or low, and 1 VCC or high. That means it is very simple that the logic 0 or ground is called as low and the logic 1 VCC is called as high. Okay, I hope you all understand the concept of low and high. Next, this is also called as the power on reset, and it is used for initialization of the system. After reset pin is activated, all the values in 8051 SFRs are lost and have the values 00000H, except the stack pointer reset value is 0007H. Here H stands for the hexadecimal value. In other words, we can also define the reset as the function of reset pin is similar like restarting our mobile or PC. What happens after restarting our mobile or PC? All the current task or work gets stopped or terminated. Similarly, when we activate this reset pin by providing it a high pulse, then microcontroller stops all its current work and gets initiated towards the beginning value. That means when we provide a logic high to the reset pin, then the microcontroller terminates all the activities. We provide it logic high means we connect it to the VCC pin. I hope you all understand this concept. Now our next pin is EA pin. The pin number 31 of 8051 microcontroller is EA bar pin. It is the external access input pin and is of active low. Now, what is meant by active low or active high? It is very simple that when the pin is connected to low or ground and gets activated, then it is called as active low. Similarly, when the pin is connected to high or plus VCC or to the supply voltage and gets activated, then it is called as active high. The active low pin can be identified by the bar placed over the specific word. Here we can see that the bar is placed over the EA word. Okay, if the bar is present, then we can say that the pin is of active low type. In the pin diagram, we can find the other active low type pins. Here the PSEN pin is also active low type. INT0, INT1, WR bar, RD bar, these all are active low type pins. Next, I hope you all understand the concept of active low and active high. Next, this EA pin must be connected to either VCC or ground. It cannot be left unconnected. The 8051 microcontroller has on-chip ROM, hence EA pin is connected to VCC. This is a very important statement here, that the 8051 microcontroller has on-chip ROM, hence EA pin is connected to VCC. But in some microcontrollers like 8031, there is no on-chip ROM, hence it requires external memory interface to it. In the case of external memory interfacing, EA pin is connected to ground. In other words, or shortly, we can say that if the memory is present on the chip or the memory is inbuilt in the chip, then EA pin is connected to VCC. The EA pin is connected to VCC, or if the memory is not inbuilt in the processor or controller, then the EA pin is connected to ground. Okay, our next pin is ALE pin, or pin number 30 is ALE pin. The ALE stands for address latch enable. When 8051 microcontroller is connected with the external memory, the port P0 provides both address and data. To demultiplex or to separate address and data, ALE pin is used. It is connected to the latch enable input. When ALE equal to 0, it provides data, and when ALE equal to 1, it provides address. Now, the function of ALE pin is that when the ALE equal to 0, this port P0 provides data from D0 to D7, and when this ALE pin is 1, it provides the address A0 to A7. Okay, next, our next pin is PSEN pin. Here a bar is placed over a PSEN word, hence we can easily say that this pin is of active low type. The pin number 29 of 8051 microcontroller is PSEN pin. PSEN stands for Program Store Enable. This is an active low output pin. When the external ROM is used to store the program code, this pin is connected to the output enable OE pin of the ROM. It enables ROM for read operation. Our next pins are the IO port pins. The 8051 microcontroller contains 4 8-bit ports, port P0, P1, P2 and P3. Upon reset, all the ports are configured as output port. Again, this is a very important statement here, that upon reset, All the ports are configured as the output port. To use this port as an input port, it must be programmed by writing 1 to all bits. Port P0 is an open drain port, hence it requires external pull-up resistors to each pin, while the ports P1, P2, P3 does not require any external pull-up resistors. The external pull-up resistors means a resistor which connected to the VCC. The value of the resistor is 10 kilo ohm. Okay, now let's see the description of each port one by one. The first port is port 0 or P0. It occupies the 32 to 39 pins, that is from 32 to 39 pins as P0.7, P0.6 to P0.0. It can be used as input or output port. The port P0 is also designated as AD0 to AD7. Here AD0 to AD7, that is port P0 is used to provide both address and data. When ALE equal to 0, it provides data D0 to D7, and when ALE equal to 1, it provides address A0 to A7. In short, the port P0 can be used to form address and data bus. That is, port P0 is used as an input port or output port, or it can be used to form a address bus or a data bus. Our next port is port 1 or P1. It occupies pin first to pin 8. Pin first to pin 8, this port is port P1. It can be used as input or output port. There is no special functions are assigned for the port P1. The next port is port P2. It occupies pin 21 to pin 28, pin 21 to pin 28, P2.0, P2.1 to P2.7. It can be used as input or output. The port P2 is also used along with P0 to provide 16-bit address for external memory. It is also designated as A8 to A15. It provides high order bits of address in output mode. When P2 is used for this function, it cannot be used for input or output. That means the port P2 is used as an input port and output port. Also, it is used to provide the address bus. Okay, our next port is port P3. The port P3 occupies pin 10 to pin 17, known as P3.0 to P3.7, pin number 10 P3.0 to pin number 17 P3.7. It can be used as input or output port. The port P3 has additional functions of providing some extremely important signals such as interrupts, timer inputs, serial data transfer, and control signals. The function of these pins is described here. The P3.0 pin is R cross D, that means the 8051 microcontroller receives data through this pin. P3.1 is T cross D pin, that means the 8051 microcontroller transmits data from this pin. P3.2 and P3.3 is INT0 and INT1 pin. These are the external interrupts. P3.4 and P3.5 is T0 and T1, which are used for the timer operations. P3.6 is used to write data. P3.7 is used to read data. Here INT0, INT1, WR and read. These 4 pins are of active low type. Now let's summarize the pin diagram of 8051 microcontroller in short. The pin diagram of 8051 consists of total 40 pins. Out of these 40 pins, 32 pins are used by 4 ports: port P0, P1, P2 and P3. If we look at the pin diagram, we notice that the port P0 starts from upper direction and ends at lower direction, that is, here is P0.0 and here is P0.7. Also, P1 starts from upper direction and ends at lower direction, here is P1.0 and here is P1.7. P3 also starts from upper direction and ends with lower direction, here is P3.0 and P3.7. But the port 2 starts from the lower direction and ends with upper direction, that means in opposite direction, here is P2.0 and here is the P2.7. Now out of these 32 pins, out of these 40 pins, 32 pins are in ports and 8 pins are separate. The 8 pins are VCC. The VCC provides the supply voltage to the microcontroller. The supply is plus 5 volt DC source. The next pin is ground pin. It provides a ground to the microcontroller. The XTAL1 pin and XTAL2 pin, these pins are used to provide a clock source to the microcontroller. For that purpose, a quartz crystal needs to be placed between these two pins. Here, a quartz crystal is placed along with the resistors. This circuitry is used to generate a clock pulse. If any user does not want this circuitry, then he can connect an external clock source to the XTAL1 pin and observe it on the XTAL2 pin. Now our next pin is the reset pin. The reset pin is used for restarting purpose. The next pin is EA bar pin. EA bar means external access pin. This pin is used in the case of external memory interfacing. This pin does not remain unconnected. If the external memory if the memory is inbuilt in the microcontroller, then there is no need of external memory. In this case, this pin is connected to VCC. And if the memory is not inbuilt in the microcontroller, then this pin must be connected to the ground. Next, our next pin is ALE pin. ALE stands for address latch enable. We know that port P0 is used as address and data. To demultiplex this address and data, ALE pin is used. When ALE equal to 0, then port P0 gives data D0 to D7, and when the ALE is equal to 1, the port P0 gives address A0 to A7. Our next pin is the PSEN pin. PSEN stands for program store enable. This is also a active low type pin, and in the case of external memory interfacing, this pin is connected to the output enable pin of external memory. Now let's see the port description. Port P0. The port P0 can be used as input or output port. Also, it can be used as to provide address and data. The port P0 provides data D0 to D7 and address A0 to A7. Next, the port P1 is used for only the purpose of input or output. The port P2 is used as input or output, as well as it is used for to provide address A8 to A15. We already learned that the 8051 microcontroller has 8-bit data and 16-bit address. This 8-bit data is provided by only port P0, but this 16-bit address is provided by both port P0 and port P2. The lower address byte is provided by port P0 and the higher address byte is provided by port P2. The last port is port P3. The port P3 can be used as input or output port. The pins of port P3 are multifunctional pins. That means the P3.0 pin is R cross D pin, which is used to receive data. P3.1 pin is T cross D pin, which is used to transmit data. P3.2 pin is INT0 pin, which is used for the external interrupt. Similarly, INT1 pin is also used for external interrupt. T0 and T1 are the used for timers, WR used for write data, and RD is used for read data. I hope you all understand the things. Thank you, students.